Welcome to my videos. Amazon AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Set 2. Which AWS service uses machine learning to help discover, monitor, and protect sensitive data that is stored in Amazon S3 buckets? A. AWS Shield. B. Amazon Macie. C. AWS Network Firewall. D. Amazon Cognito. Correct answer, B. A company wants to improve the overall availability and performance of its applications that are hosted on AWS. Which AWS service should the company use? A. Amazon Connect. B. Amazon Lightsail. C. AWS Global Accelerator. D. AWS Storage Gateway. Correct answer, C. Which AWS service or feature identifies whether an Amazon S3 bucket or an IAM role has been shared with an external entity? A. AWS Service Catalog. B. AWS Systems Manager. C. AWS IAM Access Analyzer. D. AWS Organizations. Correct answer, C. A company does not want to rely on elaborate forecasting to determine its usage of compute resources. Instead, the company wants to pay only for the resources that it uses. The company also needs the ability to increase or decrease its resource usage to meet business requirements. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework aligns with these requirements? A. Operational excellence. B. Security. C. Reliability. D. Cost optimization. Correct answer, D. A company wants to launch its workload on AWS and requires the system to automatically recover from failure. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework includes this requirement? A. Cost optimization. B. Operational excellence. C. Performance efficiency. D. Reliability. Correct answer, D. A large enterprise with multiple VPCs in several AWS regions around the world needs to connect and centrally manage network connectivity between its VPCs. Which AWS service or feature meets these requirements? A. AWS Direct Connect. B. AWS Transit Gateway. C. AWS Site-to-Site VPN. D. VPC Endpoints. Correct answer, B. Which AWS service supports the creation of visual reports from AWS cost and usage report data? A. Amazon Athena. B. Amazon QuickSight. C. Amazon CloudWatch. D. AWS Organizations. Correct answer, A. Which AWS service should be used to monitor Amazon EC2 instances for CPU and network utilization? A. Amazon Inspector. B. AWS CloudTrail. C. Amazon CloudWatch. D. AWS Config. Correct answer, C. A company is preparing to launch a new web store that is expected to receive high traffic for an upcoming event. The web store runs only on AWS, and the company has an AWS Enterprise Support Plan. Which AWS resource will provide guidance about how the company should scale its architecture and operational support during the event? A. AWS Abuse Team. B. The designated AWS Technical Account Manager, TAM. C. AWS Infrastructure Event Management. D. AWS Professional Services. Correct answer, B. A user wants to deploy a service to the AWS cloud by using infrastructure as code, IAC, principles. Which AWS service can be used to meet this requirement? A. AWS Systems Manager. B. AWS CloudFormation. C. AWS Code Commit. D. AWS Config. Correct answer, B. A company that has multiple business units wants to centrally manage and govern its AWS cloud environments. The company wants to automate the creation of AWS accounts, apply service control policies, SCPs, and simplify billing processes. Which AWS service or tool should the company use to meet these requirements? A. AWS Organizations. B. Cost Explorer. C. AWS Budgets. D. AWS Trusted Advisor. Correct answer, A. Which IT controls do AWS and the customer share? according to the AWS Shared Responsibility Model. Choose 2, A. Physical and environmental controls. B. Patch management. C. Cloud awareness and training. D. Zone security. E. Application data encryption. Correct answer, B and C. A company is launching an application in the AWS Cloud. The application will use Amazon S3 storage. A large team of researchers will have shared access to the data. The company must be able to recover data that is accidentally overwritten or deleted. Which S3 feature should the company turn on to meet this requirement? A. Server access logging. B. S3 versioning. C. S3 lifecycle rules. D. Encryption in transit and at rest. Correct answer, B. A manufacturing company has a critical application that runs at a remote site that has a slow internet connection. The company wants to migrate the workload to AWS. The application is sensitive to latency and interruptions in connectivity. The company wants a solution that can host this application with minimum latency. Which AWS service or feature should the company use to meet these requirements? A. Availability zones. B. AWS local zones. C. AWS wavelength. D. AWS outposts. Correct answer, B. A company wants to migrate its applications from its on-premises data center to a VPC in the AWS Cloud. These applications will need to access on-premises resources. Which actions will meet these requirements? Choose 2, A. Use AWS Service Catalog to identify a list of on-premises resources that can be migrated. B. Create a VPN connection between an on-premises device and a virtual private gateway in the VPC. C. Use an Amazon CloudFront distribution and configure it to accelerate content delivery close to the on-premises resources. D. Set up an AWS Direct Connect connection between the on-premises data center and AWS. E. Use Amazon CloudFront to restrict access to static web content provided through the on-premises web servers. Correct answers, A and D. A company wants to use the AWS Cloud to provide secure access to desktop applications that are running in a fully managed environment. Which AWS service should the company use to meet this requirement? A. Amazon S3. B. Amazon AppStream 2.0. C. AWS AppSync. D. AWS Outposts. Correct answer, A. A company wants to implement threat detection on its AWS infrastructure. However, the company does not want to deploy additional software. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? A. Amazon VPC. B. Amazon EC2. C. Amazon GuardDuty. D. AWS Direct Connect. Correct answer, C. Which AWS service uses edge locations? A. Amazon Aurora. B. AWS Global Accelerator. C. Amazon Connect. D. AWS Outposts. Correct answer, B. A company needs to install an application in a Docker container. Which AWS service eliminates the need to provision and manage the container hosts? A. AWS Fargate. B. Amazon FSx for Windows File Server. C. Amazon Elastic Container Service, Amazon ECS. D. Amazon EC2. Correct answer, C. Which AWS service or feature checks access policies and offers actionable recommendations to help users set secure and functional policies? A. AWS Systems Manager. B. AWS IAM Access Analyzer. C. AWS Trusted Advisor. D. Amazon GuardDuty. Correct answer, B. A company has a fleet of cargo ships. The cargo ships have sensors that collect data at sea, where there is intermittent or no internet connectivity. The company needs to collect, format, and process the data at sea and move the data to AWS later. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? A. AWS IoT Core. B. Amazon Lightsail. C. AWS Storage Gateway. D. AWS Snowball Edge. Correct answer, C. A retail company needs to build a highly available architecture for a new e-commerce platform. The The company is using only AWS services that replicate data across multiple availability zones. Which AWS services should the company use to meet this requirement? Choose 2, A. Amazon EC2. B. Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS. C. Amazon Aurora. D. Amazon DynamoDB. E. Amazon Redshift. Correct answers, A and D. Which characteristic of the AWS Cloud helps users eliminate underutilized CPU capacity? A. Agility. B. Elasticity. C. Reliability. D. Durability. Correct answer, B. Service Control Policies, SCPs, manage permissions for which of the following? A. Availability zones. B. AWS regions. C. AWS organizations. D. Edge locations. Correct answer, C. Which AWS service can be used to encrypt data at rest? A. Amazon GuardDuty. B. AWS Shield. C. AWS Security Hub. D. AWS Key Management Service, AWS KMS. Correct answer, D. Which characteristics or advantages of using the AWS Cloud? Choose 2, A. 100% Service Level Agreement, SLA, for all AWS services. B. Compute capacity that is adjusted on demand. C. Availability of AWS support for code development. D. Enhanced security. E. Increases in cost and complexity. Correct answer, B, D. A user is storing objects in Amazon S3. The user needs to restrict access to the objects to meet compliance obligations. What should the user do to meet this requirement? A. Use AWS Secrets Manager. B. Tag the objects in the S3 bucket. C. Use security groups. D. Use network ACLs. Correct answer, D. A company wants to convert video files and audio files from their source format into a format that will play on smartphones, tablets, and web browsers. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? A. Amazon Elastic Transcoder. B. Amazon Comprehend. C. AWS Glue. D. Amazon Rekognition. Correct answer, A. Which of the following are benefits of Amazon EC2 auto-scaling? Choose 2, A. Improved health and availability of applications. B. Reduced network latency. C. Optimized performance and costs. D. Automated snapshots of data. E. Cross-region replication. Correct answer, A and B. A company has several departments. Each department has its own AWS accounts for its applications. The company wants all AWS costs on a single invoice to simplify payment, but the company wants to know the costs that each department is incurring. Which AWS tool or feature will provide this functionality? A. AWS Cost and Usage Reports. B. Consolidated Billing. C. Savings Plans. D. AWS Budgets. Correct answer, B. A company runs its workloads on premises. The company wants to forecast the cost of running a large application on AWS. Which AWS service or tool can the company use to obtain this information? A. AWS Pricing Calculator. B. AWS Budgets. C. AWS Trusted Advisor. D. Cost Explorer. Correct answer, D. A company wants to eliminate the need to guess infrastructure capacity before deployments. The company also wants to spend its budget on cloud resources only as the company uses the resources. Which advantage of the AWS Cloud matches the company's requirements? A. Reliability. B. Global reach. C. Economies of scale. D. Pay-as-you-go pricing. Correct answer, D. Which AWS service supports a hybrid architecture that gives users the ability to extend AWS infrastructure, AWS services, APIs, and tools to data centers, colocation environments, or on-premises facilities? A. AWS Snowmobile. B. AWS Local Zones. C. AWS Outposts. D. AWS Fargate. Correct answer, C. A company has a physical tape library to store data backups. The tape library is running out of space. The company needs to extend the tape library's capacity to the AWS Cloud. Which AWS service should the company use to meet this requirement? A. Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS. B. Amazon S3. C. Amazon Elastic File System, Amazon EFS. D. AWS Storage Gateway. Correct answer, D. An online retail company has seasonal sales spikes several times a year, primarily around holidays. Demand is lower at other times. The company finds it difficult to predict the increasing infrastructure demand for each season. Which advantages of moving to the AWS Cloud would most benefit the company? Choose 2, A. Global footprint. B. Elasticity. C. AWS service quotas. D. AWS shared responsibility model. E. Pay-as-you-go pricing. Correct answer, B, E. Which AWS service can be used to turn text into lifelike speech? A. Amazon Polly. B. Amazon Kindra. C. Amazon Recognition. D. Amazon Connect. Correct answer, A. Which AWS service or tool can be used to capture information about inbound and outbound traffic in an Amazon VPC? A. VPC Flow Logs. B. Amazon Inspector. C. VPC Endpoint Services. D. NAT Gateway. Correct answer, A. A company wants to ensure that 2 Amazon EC2 instances are in separate data centers with minimal communication latency between the data centers. How can the company meet this requirement? A. Place the EC2 instances in 2 separate AWS regions connected with a VPC peering connection. B. Place the EC2 instances in 2 separate availability zones within the same AWS region. C. Place one EC2 instance on premises and the other in an AWS region. Then connect them by using an AWS VPN connection. D. Place both EC2 instances in a placement group for dedicated bandwidth. Correct answer, B. In which situations should a company create an IAM user instead of an IAM role? Choose 2, A. When an application that runs on Amazon EC2 instances requires access to other AWS services. B. When the company creates AWS access credentials for individuals. C. When the company creates an application that runs on a mobile phone that makes requests to AWS. D. When the company needs to add users to IAM groups. E. When users are authenticated in the corporate network and want to be able to use AWS without having to sign in a second time. Correct answer, B, D. Which AWS services should a company use to read and write data that changes frequently? Choose 2, A. Amazon S3 Glacier. B. Amazon RDS. C. AWS Snowball. D. Amazon Redshift. E. Amazon Elastic File System, Amazon EFS. Correct answer, B, D. Which AWS service is used to provide encryption for Amazon EBS? A. AWS Certificate Manager. B. AWS Systems Manager. C. AWS KMS. D. AWS Config. Correct answer, C. Which AWS services make use of global edge locations? Choose 2, A. AWS Fargate. B. Amazon CloudFront. C. AWS Global Accelerator. D. AWS Wavelength. E. Amazon VPC. Correct answer, B and C. A company is operating several factories where it builds products. The company needs the ability to process data, store data, and run applications with local system interdependencies that require low latency. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? A. AWS IoT Greengrass. B. AWS Lambda. C. AWS Outposts. D. AWS Snowball Edge. Correct answer, B. Which of the following is a recommended design principle for AWS Cloud architecture? A. Design tightly coupled components. B. Build a single application component that can handle all the application functionality. C. Make large changes on fewer iterations to reduce chances of failure. D. Avoid monolithic architecture by segmenting workloads. Correct answer, C. A company is designing its AWS workloads so that components can be updated regularly and so that changes can be made in small, reversible increments. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework does this design support? A. Security. B. Performance efficiency. C. Operational excellence. D. Reliability. Correct answer, B. Which of the following acts as an instance-level firewall to control inbound and outbound access? A. Network access control list. B. Security groups. C. AWS Trusted Advisor. D. Virtual private gateways. Correct answer, B. Which of the following acts as an instance-level firewall to control inbound and outbound access? A. Network access control list. B. Security groups. C. AWS Trusted Advisor. D. Virtual private gateways. Correct answer, A. Which AWS service helps protect against DDoS attacks? A. AWS Shield. B. Amazon Inspector. C. Amazon Guard Duty. D. Amazon Detective. Correct answer, A. Using AWS Config to record, audit, and evaluate changes to AWS resources to enable traceability is an example of which AWS well-architected framework pillar? A. Security. B. Operational excellence. C. Performance efficiency. D. Cost optimization. Correct answer, A. Which AWS tool or feature acts as a VPC firewall at the subnet level? A. Security group. B. Network ACL. C. Traffic mirroring. D. Internet gateway. Correct answer, B.